Hello, welcome to We Were Gamers. I think it's 238. I got really loud there and kind of sat up in my chair, so that's gonna seal real world. Oh boy. Real world is a show. Real weird. Hello, Michael.
Hey, how you doing?
You're normal, you're not real weird. I almost said it wrong again. JJ, how's it going?
Hello, it's me. I'm here.
Woo! It's nice to talk to you fellas again, as always. I have a quick aside for you that is car related. It's not car is it food related or car? You judge what related this is. But I judge someone to have made a mistake. This person had a customized license plate that when you read it basically said White Lightning. Which I think is actually a somewhat witty plate for a vehicle, if you know what White Lightning is. If you don't, it's moonshine.
Yeah, I was gonna say moonshine.
Yep.
I assumed you two did. I'm just putting it out there. And kids, if you don't know what moonshine is, go ask your parents.
Correct. Correct approach.
What car do you think that should be on or would be on?
Charger.
Okay, good guess.
An IROC Z Camaro.
Even better, sure. Great
Nice.
car. Color? Any color? It doesn't matter.
I mean, white, right?
You would think.
Or something really bright.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like something with like something with a big white stripe on it. Then I guess. At the
Especially,
worst, right?
yeah, a big white stripe on it's good. Or some sort of NASCAR paraphernalia. Something.
Yeah.
And they had the like custom colored plate. In California, we have multiple colored plates. You can pay extra money when you get your personalized plates.
Mm-hmm.
On a 90s beater Explorer.
Hmm.
Am I wrong to sit in judgment of this?
No.
No.
I feel like it's a betrayal of the term White Lightning. The car was silver.
Oh, it wasn't even white.
It wasn't even white. This is how we lead in podcasts on We Were Gamers. Welcome.
It wasn't a Bronco, was it?
It was not a Bronco. I double checked because I thought if it was a Bronco, maybe there was a chance it was funny.
Yeah, because that's an OJ thing now, right?
That wouldn't be funny, but
But I mean, that could have been what they were going for, in which case it makes it a thing to say, not a good thing necessarily. But
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
yeah. No, it was no good all the way around. A white stripe would have saved it. Something.
Yeah, white stripe.
Welcome to We Were Gamers, a podcast at the end of the year about us winding down for the end of the year where we all get a break. I think everyone needs a kind of a break. So this is the episode of miscellaneous things. Just a quick housekeeping at the beginning. We promised last time. JJ's going to hit us with socials at the beginning so you can't skip them.
Hey, you can follow us on YouTube at We Were Gamers. Search for us on there and give us a follow. That would be great. It really actually does help us. And I know you're trying to skip past this, but I'm going to go for more than 20 seconds, so it won't work. You're going to have to wait and hear me again. This podcast is available on all the podcasting platforms: Google, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you like to get your podcast. Please follow us on there.
We'll be on Amazon soon. I'm working on it.
Okay, see, look at that. New place I didn't even know that podcasts could be.
Yep,
And
they
now
just
they're
added it.
there too.
Mm-hmm.
So follow us on all those places. It really does help us. And if you want to send us emails, you can send those to podcast@weweregamers.com, and we will read them, and we batch them up and talk about them, and we will eventually do that.
Yeah.
But for real, follow us on all those places. Also on social media at We Were Gamers, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all those places.
Nice job. It's getting to be towards the end of the year, so it's time to kind of talk about that type of stuff. And do the house cleaning. One of the next two episodes we'll talk about our end of the year stuff, where we don't do a game of the year, but this is kind of a preview. We do a thing of the year. I think last year it was 2 years. Was it 2 years ago that it was the DS, or no, it was the Switch with stuff on it, or was that last year? That was last year. Getting a Switch,
Who can
putting
say?
So long ago.
I
You
know.
should go back and listen to last year's episode.
yeah,
That's what you
do
should
it.
do.
There
Game
you
of the
go.
year. Go look for it. I know one of the years it was a Switch with Into the Breach on it. Which was your
Yeah, Into the Breach, I think, might have been 2 years
think
ago
that was
because I
2
think
years
last
ago.
year JJ or I did Bloodstained.
Bloodstained. Yeah, that's been in there. They're never game of the year. They're always the thing we enjoyed most, and we're working on it right now. We're gonna do that soon. The break's gonna happen. We're gonna have time to fit in a few more things. Like I think there's gonna be at least one more carbon scoring, another Star Trek subpod where we start Discovery season 3 before the end of the year, which is odd timing, I know, but might as well get started.
Yeah, hey.
Nothing saying. And a few other things in there. Maybe we'll get that component class thing up over the break when I have a little extra time. How's that sound?
Good.
Okay. Michael,
What you got?
Xbox Game Pass just added Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. How quickly should I play that? Okay, you know what? No, hold on. This is a fight between you two, JJ and Michael.
I'm waiting. Why?
They've added Yakuza and Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. Which game gets my attention first?
Into what?
To play before they disappear them?
Oh, we're talking about Game Pass. Is that what this is?
Yeah,
about?
Game Pass added. I know Michael's big game Yooka-Laylee. He loves it. You're a big proponent of Yakuza. After I get through Final Fantasy 12, which one's getting my attention first?
Impossible Lair was good, but I don't know if I would place it quite as highly as the first Yooka-Laylee.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It depends how far back of a throwback you want. Because Impossible Lair is more of a game in the Super Nintendo Donkey Kong Country platformer style.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
They're not really the same kind of game.
No,
No.
of course they're not. Of course they're not. I mean, I just was wondering if there was going to be a interesting Yooka-Laylee is not found under Yuka, but I know it's there. I can see it on the
Sorry,
main
what?
screen. I wanted to see if the
I mean, does it start? Are you correctly spelling it with a Y and two
yeah, but I
O's?
wonder if it's because it's hyphenated. I have to put the whole thing. Yeah, I have to put the
Me.
whole thing. Interesting. It's just the Impossible Lair. They don't have the other one. So
Well, the other one is relatively old at this point, several years at this point. So
one would
you
hope
know,
they would get it eventually. Game Pass is
mean,
getting a lot of stuff coming.
it's possible that it has been and rotated off of Game Pass.
That's
Is what I was trying to
possible
get
too.
at,
Good point.
because it is like 4 or 5 years old at this point, right?
Good point. Yeah, it would be a cheaper game to get. Game Pass likes that kind of stuff. All right. So no fight over that. Well, instead of throwbacks, none of us are playing the throw forward Cyberpunk 2077, are we?
No.
Did we follow our own advice and all of us steered clear?
Don't buy brand new games, kids.
I mean, certainly don't pre-order games. That's for sure.
Wait to see if they're buggy.
Yeah, and it seems like this one maybe has a few issues. I don't know. I obviously none of us have played it, so it's hard to comment. Just reading, seeing footage and reading articles or whatever. It looks like one of those games, like the Skyrims of the world, those kind of games where the game is buggy because it's that kind of a game. So
Too
you're gonna
big,
get
too big to have controlled in a way, almost. Too
Or
many
there's
threads.
too many clockwork pieces trying to work together, and you're going to get a character who's going to T-pose and slide off the screen sometimes, and then there are people who don't have any of these problems, right? Because their particular thing didn't have the guy going to T-pose at that moment, and so therefore the scene was fine for them.
Yeah, the phone didn't ring at the exact wrong moment.
Right, or there didn't happen to be a third car on the street at that time, so the pedestrian didn't freak out and explode into a bunch of lines or whatever.
I've heard multiple people describing how when they summon their car, they don't know where it is until another car down the street explodes. Because the car gets summoned in underneath another car.
It took them a little while to get it right on the Witcher's horse too. There were even memes about the horse where you would summon and you'd show up on top of buildings and stuff. So
Roach, get down from there.
yeah,
I mean, isn't that even in the show as a joke?
Yes, because of that. That was a thing in the game that they then patched out later because it was so messed up, and then they, eventually got it right. But it's one of those things where, like, The Witcher 3, when it first came out, had a bunch of bugs and stuff too. It was kind of a mess.
Yeah.
And people also complained that the console versions of that game looked like garbage. And it got better.
Yeah.
And maybe this game will get better too. But I feel like they are likely to continue patching it based on what they've said.
I was watching someone go through the character creator. I don't know if you've seen this yet, but it went from interesting to rated M for mature almost instantaneously.
Oh yeah, there's like
Be aware of that.
There's genitals options.
There sure are. But the funny part about it was picking somebody's nail color is the thing that got to the rated M. It was like panned out the camera. And you go, oh, that person's like straight up nude.
Yeah, you could show a bunch of stuff on there.
I'm not a prude, but it was surprising. It was taken aback.
And then you get into the game, and the game is first person. You can't see any of that.
Yeah. You see a lot of there's a lot of mirrors in the game, I guess. Which apparently ray tracing does not like mirrors very much.
I mean, it doubles the workload, right? You have to render the scene again in the mirror.
Yep. All right. Well, speaking of advice, I took Michael's post-podcast advice. I don't know if this was actually during the podcast, but Michael mentioned I was talking about trying to play a Japanese DS game. And Michael mentioned trying to maybe track down. He put it this way. I think Michael, I'm quoting you fairly, but not perfectly when you said one of those things you stick in your DS that allows you to play games.
We're not gonna re-air that laundry.
Flash carts is what they're called.
Yes.
I researched them. They're very scary.
Okay.
I mean, they are essentially like Nintendo considers them piracy. Is what I'll say.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you're deep in the gray zone here.
I wanted to see because Michael and I talked about them after I think JJ you had gone to see what the flash cart you have had the down low on what is possible and what is might be acceptable, and I didn't know where the flash cart zone landed, and if you had any don't do this because of this advice on that scenario that maybe people would want to listen to, because we had talked about that on the last podcast and I didn't want to leave that open-ended.
Is this me or Michael?
No,
Sorry.
you, buddy.
I mean, like I would say it is a like dark gray area. I would call it. It's not the light side of gray. It's the dark side of gray.
Got it. We've gotten into youngling territory here.
Yeah, sure. And I don't know what is necessary on the DS side to make that work. If anything, maybe you just maybe it just works correctly somehow. I'm not sure.
Supposedly these are done without modding your firmware.
Okay. If it does not involve a firmware modification, then it's probably pretty likely to be okay, assuming the thing actually works as advertised.
And that you have a legally obtained copy that you've ROM'd yourself.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what it's for.
Yes. But we should just remember to continue to say that.
Yeah.
Okay. I found one called the R4 card. I'm somewhat debating whether it's worth the trouble. I don't know. We'll see. I might report back. I might not report back. Oh boy. Let's start with the news of the day that affects us somewhat a lot here on this value-oriented podcast. I have joined the chorus of I don't know if it's valuable anymore this week, gentlemen. My Netflix price is going up to $13.99.
Feels like a lot, man.
Does anyone else feel like that's a lot?
I mean, it's $12 over the course of the year. I don't know if that feels like a huge increase, Maybe for the amount that you use it, though.
It is an additional month's worth, essentially, right?
Sure.
The creep has been happening,
Mm-hmm.
and without having had a veritable, true jousting partner, Netflix has always seemed somewhat worth it. Unfortunately, they've been hit by the COVID production bug, and their output has slowed, especially in things that we tend to care about on this show, like Stranger Things, etc. And I have to say, with some other coupling news this week with Disney Plus and Hulu and Marvel and Star Wars, aka Lucasfilm as well, the value proposition out there we should talk about, no?
Yeah, I mean, Netflix is not good at saying, here's what we're doing next. So it's hard. I mean, look, you would be a fool if you thought that Netflix was not making another season of Stranger Things, right?
Right.
Yes.
They're certainly doing that. But what else are they doing?
And but when also, right? Netflix does
when.
not follow everyone else's model of dropping once per week. Everyone else has switched to once per week, and they may as well, obviously,
Certainly, right?
as they start to shed people in a tough year. It's been a tough year. I would not be surprised if some... But you know what? What do you think? I was going to say I would not be surprised if some people had shed Netflix over the course of this tough year, but we're all stuck at home with no movie theaters and stuff.
But also, has anything that would have been in a movie theater come to Netflix? No.
Right. They went to Apple and to HBO and to Showtime.
And Disney, right?
And
Those are
Disney.
the only places any of them went. So, Netflix is in the position of they are currently the market leader in all of this stuff, right? They have the most subscribers, ostensibly, but they don't release numbers, so who really knows? And do they feel that their service is under pressure from Disney and HBO and Hulu and all these other places?
I'd say with
Amazon
a price
and
hike,
whatever
they'd
else.
think no, right?
Well, so, a price hike doesn't just mean that they're it could mean they are shedding people, right? And they want to get more money out of the people they still have to, make the numbers equal out. But it also could mean that they need to spend more money on new content and they aren't getting it done with what they have. So they need to, justify more dollars to create more shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they're also not alone. Disney Plus is increasing their price next year, early next year.
I had not heard that. What is Disney going to?
They're going up $1 as well, I think. So from 7 to 8.
Okay. More palatable, especially if you don't do anything except the Disney. I guess Hulu would probably also be going up in cost.
I mean, I think these services are quickly realizing that people are just replacing their cable bill with these things and that there's money floating around they could snap up.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely all going to start competing, and then those of us that dropped cable bills for the cost concern are going to have to start cutting.
Yeah. So I don't know what is the answer here.
I certainly am
But it's
thinking
starting
about
to feel bad, right?
once we finish our Star Trek watch of the season 3, we might do the thing where we drop for, wait until a whole season of something else is finished, right?
I wouldn't blame you. Blame you. And CBS in particular is man, what do they have? Why would you stay subscribed to this service? What is
they're definitely pushing we need to have Star Trek year round. Otherwise people are going to drop.
I mean, yeah, right. We just said why.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Disney may be going up in price, but they're not going up quietly. They're going up with a reason, right?
They have literally opened up the fire hose with the announcement that they made last week of all of the content that is coming in the next... How far out does this go?
At least 3 years. At least
2 or 3?
3 years. Yeah. It depends on which one you're talking about. Some of these are we announced that we're making this. It started production yesterday. And some of these are it's coming out next year.
Well, and some of these it's coming out in 3 weeks.
Some of them are also I'm the director for this movie that's coming out in 3 years, and I'm telling you what the type of movie is I want to make.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like we haven't even talked about what the movie is.
Or
Yeah,
there's
it
even
depends.
I don't have a name for my movie. I'm just doing something in Star Wars. That's Taika Waititi's case, by the way. Okay.
Where do
how
we
do you-
even start?
How do you organize any of this? God. Okay, you guys ask me questions about the Star Wars list because I can do that, and then someone else has got to take over.
All right. So we'll start on Star Wars then, or the list that they announced from Star Wars, which is
Yeah.
not all Star Wars properties, to be
No.
clear.
Correct. Okay, so Lucasfilm is doing Star Wars and other Lucas products. Season 3 Mandalorian. You just stop me when you want to hear more. A Rogue Squadron film.
Do you have any opinion other than yeah?
The director
assume-
is Patty Jenkins, and that's all we know, and that's probably all we need to know.
She talked about it being a dogfighting movie, so I feel like that's probably the correct thing to do there.
I think if it's fun, not Tom Cruise centered Top Gun in space, we're good to go.
You literally stole my analogy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if Patty Jenkins makes Top Gun but in space.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we don't want to make that dogfighting movie with who was in that? The one with the computer controlled AI planes. Jamie Foxx's dogfighting movie. We don't want that.
Is it the Shia LaBeouf movie? What's the other one?
I don't know. It's hard. It's easy to do a bad one, but it's also very easy to do a good one if you're into what she said she's into. So that's what I know about Rogue Squadron. It's also 3 years off. Don't get excited. And it has the best logo. Okay.
What is Children of Blood and Bone?
That is
Children of Blood and Bone is this one I know. This
Good
one's
for you.
totally unrelated.
Yeah.
It is based on a book series.
that is a new property they're taking from books.
It's a
Yes.
Lucasfilm property.
film.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so we actually got the book, I think, from one of the free book giveaways at Comic-Con in recent years.
Cool.
And my wife was a big fan of the books.
Nice.
So
Okay.
Tomi Adeyemi, I think, is the name of the author.
I'm into that. Good to take more book properties. Use good ideas.
Yep.
Lando. Okay.
Great.
Andor.
Yeah. Very excited.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Hold on. Is Andor is this
Cassian.
Cassian Andor from Rogue One gets a prequel series.
it's a
Do I-
series, not a movie.
Do I get more
Series.
K2?
Yes.
Then I'm good.
You will. Alan Tudyk has been tied to it already.
Okay.
Obi-Wan Kenobi with Ewan
Is
McGregor.
this is this a live action thing also?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes,
Series.
but it's a limited series.
Limited series with Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen.
Yes, he's coming back.
So when does this take place?
After the third movie, but before the fourth movie.
So it is Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi being both alive
Yeah.
before they are not before Tatooine, before Obi-Wan goes to Tatooine, I guess.
Well, he goes to Tatooine right away with Luke. So Ken was expressing concern about how this is possible because it's
I
been
am also expressing this concern.
yeah. No real info other than the two actors though. So
Okay.
Ahsoka, Rangers of the Republic.
Who's in this?
Rangers of the Republic?
Yes.
Unknown. It's supposed to be somewhat about the law at the time of the Mandalorian.
Is this the supposed Cara Dune vehicle here?
I don't think it's going to be her, though.
Unlikely that it's just Cara Dune. It sounds like it might be lots of different people.
I see. Some kind of anthology series or something?
Possibly. I don't know.
Okay. Moving on.
Acolyte.
What is this?
One of the first movies, or not movies, shows that will be set in their new time period that they want to start doing stories in, called the High Republic.
Which is like 100 years, I think I read before.
Possibly up to 1,000 years before.
Okay, so
Before what?
back to way back before the prequel trilogy.
Okay, so before even episode 1.
Yeah,
And,
no
like,
one we would
way,
know
way,
would
way
be alive
before.
at all.
Maybe
Before Yoda, before all that.
Okay. All right, so complete unknown there. Cool.
Yeah. Visions,
What is this even?
Animatrix, but for Star Wars.
Okay.
Okay.
The
That's a
Bad
good analogy.
Batch.
Thank you for using that.
I stole that analogy from Ken, so shout out to Ken.
Good job, whoever came up with that. And,
And The Bad Batch, which
the
is
Bad
a
Batch animated show, right?
animated spin-off show.
What is a droid story then?
Oh, a new droid along with R2 and C3PO. Unclear if it's animated. Sounds like likely a show.
Okay.
That one might have me the most skeptical until I see something.
Yeah.
Wondering
that
if
looks
it's a kid's show.
like- Yes. I was
Okay,
getting hard
that
kid
would
show
be
vibes.
yeah, that would make more sense.
It would make sense because looking at all of this, Visions has the possibility to be a kid's show. Maybe. Unlikely though. Bad Batch won't be really a kid's show. It'll be for kids that have grown up watching Clone Wars.
Right.
It's like an older kid
And that's
demographic.
kind of it.
So Droid Story will likely be the kids show.
Okay.
And-
Yeah,
and
they should have one, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should. I don't begrudge them having. They should have had. I mean, if they had said there were more, that would be fine too. And then
we
to
didn't
round
talk
out,
about the
you've
yeah,
got
we
Indy
didn't-
and Willow. Indy 5
Indiana
Which
Jones. LOL.
they have said will be the last one.
will be the
said
last
that
one
last
with
time.
Harrison Ford.
They said that last
well,
time. and
yeah.
It's not, so I'm not.
This will be the last one with Harrison Ford.
I don't.
Important
believe them.
disclaimer.
Said that before. Didn't
Yeah,
happen.
We'll
so.
see. In a Willow series, which is
Okay, so that was the other thing I was going to ask. Was this Willow a movie or a series? It's
Series.
A series.
Yes. Set
okay.
10 years after the movie.
Oh, I didn't know
Interesting.
that part. Cool.
Yes. Yeah, so I did read that detail. And it will have why did I blank on his name? Warwick Davis.
Oh, is he in it?
Yes.
guy who played
yeah, he will
Willow.
be back. He will be
Beautiful.
back reprising his role.
Interesting.
Beautiful.
So that
Okay.
at least would be enough to get me to check it out.
I was going
I'm
to say that one I was the most curious about because it was the biggest unknown here.
I'm the
or
most
the
curious
least
and most
known.
scared about it because I love Willow, but
I was going to say Willow felt like a thing to me that they didn't need to make another of. So I was curious what that was.
so a lot of these Star Wars things sound fun, and a lot of them have not a ton of info, so it's hard to know.
Yeah. I think, like a number of these I am interested in. Some of them I am not interested in.
Fair.
It is very hard to know what any of these are at this point because no information is out.
Yeah. Ahsoka
in fact-
and Rangers of the Republic are in the Mando timeline, it sounds like.
Okay.
In case you wanted something to kind of guide your light there, but we have literally a million other shows to talk about.
Yeah, so this is the thing is like even on this like it's hard to distinguish what is a theatrical property where I just have to go see a movie for 2 hours and which one I have to commit to watching 500 episodes of, right?
The only theatrical properties that I understood to be existing in this list of Lucasfilm stuff is Rogue Squadron, Indiana Jones, and an untitled movie that is not listed here. Possibly Visions could be construed as a movie if they release it all as one big thing.
So yeah, it's a lot of like,
The rest is shows. All the rest
but
of it.
it's stuff you'd have to commit to though, right? So like that's a
Yeah,
lot
but
of commitment here on
Kit-
this slide.
Kit brought up the point when we talked about it a little bit that all of this that you see in front of you here is 3 to 4 years worth of shows. None of
Right,
this, except for Andor, has started filming.
And like they're not going to be. Disney is not foolish enough to put them all out at the same time. It's like
Yeah.
you gotta pick
no,
between
no.
Andor and Mandalorian 3 this week. Like they're not going
No.
to do that.
And Star
So it-
Wars, they've said Star Wars will only get a theatrical release starting in 2025. Or 2023 and then 2025 is the next two.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a okay. All right.
It's overwhelming to see it all, but I think it's not that bad.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like too much.
Well, let's say on the Lucasfilm side, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Go to the. I think that the second picture I linked you guys is a little more
Readable?
up to date than well, it's also more up to date than the first picture.
Oh, okay. Who's taking on this? Because I don't have the energy.
So I think the bigger question with this one even is which of these are movies and which aren't, because not all of them are. And I don't know that I necessarily know the answer to that. So
I think I can answer for most of them.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
So
do it.
I'll just run down the list. So Black Widow's a movie. Spider-Man: Home Sweet Home is a movie. Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. Thor: Love and Thunder. Black Panther 2. Blade. Captain Marvel 2. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Fantastic Four, and Deadpool.
There are 26 things listed here.
yes.
First of all, Deadpool is now a Marvel movie, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's good.
I wonder if that means it won't be R anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big
You
question
wonder,
there.
right?
Along with Blade. Blade may not be as hard.
And I think Deadpool and Blade both being guys and heroes in their previous incarnations that were very violent, so it would sort of be a big change for the character to do PG-13.
Did you say Eternals is a movie or a show?
I think Eternals is a show.
That should be also pretty close to R.
I want to say I thought it was a movie, but
Okay,
well,
it might be.
Okay, you went through it. You guys tell me if you know anything about these. WandaVision, we've seen ads for. That's Wanda.
WandaVision
and
is coming out relatively soon.
Yeah, that's a
January,
show.
very beginning of January.
Looks cute. I'm gonna watch it.
I'm interested. I don't know really anything about it because the ads look intentionally misleading.
Sure.
Which I like, honestly.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a show about Falcon and the Winter Soldier dealing with Captain America being gone.
And I believe that is also coming very soon.
Yeah.
Yes, next
timeline.
Spring or summer.
Something like this.
So you said Black Widow's the movie. Is that moving to Disney Plus now?
I don't know. This movie was supposed to come out in May.
Yeah.
So it was ready to go into theaters in May. So I think it's been sitting on the shelf ready to release for quite a while.
Poor Scarlett Johansson never gets a fair shake, does she?
No. Loki is a TV series.
Okay.
I know that. I've seen ads for this.
So far, none of these movies and actors have been replaced, right? It's all the original people that have been in the Marvel universe.
These are the people, yeah.
Okay.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I know actually nothing about this.
Show.
I don't even know that.
I think. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Marvel Studios' What If, which is definitely a show.
Yes, animated.
Yes, and it's an animated kind of I'm trying to think what the comic is. Elseworlds a thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the alternate reality, Elseworld stuff. What If is its own universe of Elseworlds because it's not. They're not comprised of Earth-numbered Earths, right? There's no alternate dimension version. It's just
right. That's a DC thing, right? The Earth with numbers.
No, they exist in both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not knowledgeable enough about that.
They exist in Earth numbers exist in both. So instead of this being a Spider-Verse scenario where somebody from a What If would show up in Spider-Man, What If is segregated. They would never show up in
It seems like
comic.
This is their vehicle to do a bunch of wouldn't it be cool if we could have Wolverine actually not be a jerk and then have Cyclops be a jerk and see how that works out?
No, that happens. That happens in books. This would be what if Uncle Ben...
But in TV, right? As opposed
to... but it's what if Uncle Ben was a supervillain, actually?
Sure.
You know? And that kind of stuff where that's messing with the formula too much for their mainstream.
What if Professor X was the bad guy and Magneto was the good guy?
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Eternals is
it's a movie.
A movie. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably a good thing.
I don't think I know enough about this group.
So
even say what that is.
Do you know what The Boys is? This is a bad example. If you know what the Eternals are, don't get mad at me. But I'm going to just ask these guys for a second. Do you know what The Boys is?
The Amazon streaming show, The Boys?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is a bad example because this was created by Jack Kirby. So they're not as crass and mean and crude as The Boys, and the storyline isn't the same. But a lot of the Eternals has morphed over time as people have taken it on. They are gods among humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't generally have the same morals as others, right? They live above others.
Sure.
The Celestials visited humans, and then they had kids, and those are called the Eternals, and
Got it.
they're like more powerful than Thor level powers, and as they have aged in terms of Marvel history, they kind of have become more unlimited in their scruples, I would say.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong about this
Also, who knows what take they're doing on it here? Because
and that's
nothing that's been in Marvel.
so that's like a modern take, and a lot of people were really upset about the modern take. I think it was ported over to the Max label. This is my memory of it, and I would love for if I got it like hugely wrong for Ken or Kit or Dixon or somebody else to chime in and email us and tell me I got it super wrong. But they kind of took the Kirby superhumans that were kind of superhuman and like levels above superhuman, right? Because they didn't have anything except for their loneliness and being above everybody else. And I don't know, it's hard to write. I mean, this is why Superman is hard to write, right? Like he's a god among men. They had the same problem. So their origin story is very interesting. And then they have to fight other god level people. But then when they're on Earth, it's kind of like, okay, what are you supposed to do? And so I think at some point, some of them even, trigger warning, I guess, but some of them even took their own lives and stuff like that because they just lived too long. And then they ported it over to like the Max storyline, and there was like sexual content and lots of more The Boys type stuff.
This is more information than I wanted about.
I'm sorry.
No. I mean, look, it's good.
It's one of those ones that really you don't look at it and you're like, oh, Hawkeye. Okay, I know who that is. You know, like done.
I think
done
more
with that
importantly
one.
than Hawkeye, Ms. Marvel.
Ms. Marvel's cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
they've got a cast announced for that, and I think 4 directors who are all Pakistani.
They have 4 directors.
It's a
series.
show.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood that. I thought it was going to tie into the new Black Adam thing.
Not that I know of. Hawkeye is also a series.
Yep.
I believe. So, everyone's favorite Hawkeye. Also, I think, did Jeremy Renner say he's in that? Or did they say he's in?
Yes, he is in that.
Okay.
Oh wow! So they got him to come back, huh?
Still no
Yes.
recasts yet.
All the will they won't they's.
They are also bringing in Haley Steinfeld to play Kate Bishop.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is the Kate Bishop one that people have talked about. Okay.
Yes.
Spider-Man: Home Sweet Home. I don't think there's any curious.
So many Spider-Mans.
So it's
Spider-Man movie.
Spider-Man
all the Spider-Mans.
into the Spider-Verse, but live action now.
We don't know, but it seems like this is probably the beginning of their Spider-Verse series is what I'm guessing.
My guess is this is a reset, right? This is we'll take everybody from everything that Sony's done and finally reset using a movie.
And everything is still canon because it all happened in different universes.
Your thing that you liked is still around. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I think though that with Doctor Strange being in that Spider-Man movie and his next movie being Multiverse of Madness, they're really driving hard towards the multiverse.
Yes, I think that is likely where they are going.
I just don't understand how they expect people to keep track.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, we skipped one, we'll come back to it, is I originally heard that Sam Raimi was involved with this. I don't know that that's actually true anymore.
Okay.
Huh.
And that it was intended to be like more of a horror movie. I don't think that that's true anymore either. So I think this is just a Doctor Strange movie, but like faint cosmic horror there in the end. Yeah, that's really all I know about that movie. They may have talked more about it. I didn't see it. She-Hulk, though, I did see some things about.
Who's playing
Tatiana
She-Hulk?
Maslany.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
okay.
And the Hulk guy is in it also. Him.
Mark Ruffalo?
They didn't recast him in this. He's in it. I don't know if he's like a main character, but he's in it at least some.
Interesting. I wonder what version of She-Hulk they're going to use then.
Jennifer Walters.
Okay. Cool.
I think everyone can agree. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's time for a She-Hulk, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I would very much like to see Mark Ruffalo try to act at this point in the Hulk's story arc
Yeah.
opposite a new Hulk, right? Like, that's going to be
Right.
very funny, I think.
It has a lot of potential.
It
Yeah,
does.
I am relatively excited for this, which I never thought I would say about a Hulk property. So,
Yeah. Cool.
I think everyone can agree. Everyone is on for Thor: Love and Thunder.
I don't know that everyone can agree about that is
No?
listening to this podcast. Calling
Right.
people out directly.
Did some people not like Ragnarok?
Some people did not like Ragnarok.
Am I calling someone out literally in this discussion of three people?
No.
No one
Not
on
in the
this
discussion of three.
podcast.
Okay. Ragnarok was a very fun movie, and I feel that anyone who liked that is very likely going to like Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I think that I think it won't have the same tone as Ragnarok. Ragnarok had a big "we need to freshen this up" vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will still be funny, but I think it'll slip back a little bit from how almost over the top, let's say, Ragnarok was. Ragnarok had.
Look, it's not going to be Ragnarok 2. I don't think that's what they're
No, I don't think so. I mean, you've got your bad guy, and this is Christian Bale, who he has some comedy chops, right? Like, he's an actor, a very good one, but he's not known as a comedic actor or anything like that.
Yeah. All right.
So,
Can't take this long. There are too many movies. Keep moving.
I'm so sorry. I'm
no,
thinking
it's
about
fine.
what that ends up being without Jeff Goldblum in it and Taika Waititi directing it with, and I'm just trying to.
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
I want to know what this is, but
Yeah.
we'll have to wait. Moon Knight is a character I know very little about.
Same.
Oh yeah.
I mean, other than he's a guy and he has this moon symbol and he's a hero.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen his like all white costume with the hood and
About where it stops for me.
he's kind of like Batman.
Okay.
He's another millionaire guy with like tools and stuff like that.
So we'll see. I believe, is this one also a show, Michael? I think it is, right?
Yes, I think this one is a show.
And I also think, I mean, I think he has superpowers, but I think he's like a Batman type
Yeah.
detective-y guy.
Black Panther 2, which again, I think everyone is for, except for the problem of Chadwick Boseman no longer being with us.
Yes, they are not. They have said they are not recasting him.
So that's going to be a question mark as to what this movie is then.
Yeah, they're going to have to retool the whole direction of where they were likely going.
I think it's Shuri takes over. I mean, I don't know what else they do.
Who knows? There are a lot of options there. There are a lot of characters people like from that movie. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Secret Invasion, which I think is another show series.
Is it a show?
Yes. Yeah, this is a series.
Okay.
Samuel L. Jackson's back for it,
Oh, cool.
as is Ben Mendelsohn.
Oh, well, then probably not for very long. They'll probably pull a Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. situation then if he's back for it, but not that long. Where he popped up in 2 episodes or whatever.
Right.
Yep.
I Okay, so like we get to see the Skrull Empire finally invade Earth.
I think Blade is one of the ones I have the biggest questions about on this entire list.
Is it Blade? Is it Wesley Snipes' Blade?
No,
No.
it's not Wesley. It's not Wesley Snipes anyway.
Man,
I don't
No,
know.
it's gonna be it's Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala, really?
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that?
That got announced a while ago, I think, because I feel like I heard that a couple of months ago.
Man, do you think he goes for the Wesley Snipes delivery? And
Do you think he asks if MFers have to ice skate uphill both ways?
No, I think he'll make it his own.
Yeah, I imagine
he's such
they
a somber actor.
those in movies entirely. I mean, Blade is not like a happy guy.
I know he's not, but he's got
Yeah.
this. Wesley Snipes had this flair to Blade of the understated, tense like a viper all the time thing.
Well, but there was also like the very like understated, totally deadpan humor to Wesley Snipes' delivery,
Absolutely,
and I think Mahershala could do that.
he could do that, but I wonder.
pull that off.
He I don't think he would though. He's got to do something different.
Yeah, and I think some of it will depend too on how dark they decide to make it. Right.
Yeah,
Sure.
like is this an
Like-
R or not? And that's gonna
Right.
be
If it's PG-13, I think that definitely impacts the performance.
I think it can go as dark as the Punisher series. I don't know if you saw the news on that, but it sounds like a lot of the Netflix series rights have been sorted out, and at least the man that played Daredevil has been confirmed to be headed back over into the Marvel universe on Disney Plus. Not the show, I don't think directly, but
Yeah, I did hear about that.
as a character in some stuff. So I don't think they're shy of the history of those shows, and I wonder if they end up on Disney Plus here pretty soon.
could be.
They probably just have to keep adding zeros until Netflix says yes.
Captain Marvel 2. I don't think anyone has any questions about what that is.
Nope.
The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which sounds like a one-off Disney Plus, not movie thing, but like short movie kind of thing.
Yes. James Gunn will be directing, and that's I think Christmas 22.
Wow.
Yeah, not 21. So the fact that it's so quick makes me curious, but I guess maybe they're already shooting for Volume 3, and so they can just kind of throw extra budget at them or something.
Yeah, probably.
Again, I think that's kind of, you either are in with the Guardians of the Galaxy at this point or you're not, because it's going to be that. Like, I don't think anyone is confused as to what that's going to be. Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania. Is this a show? I don't know.
I don't know anything about
think-
this.
I think this one was supposed to be the conclusion of the trilogy.
Oh, was
Okay,
it
so
supposed
this
to be a
is a-
trilogy?
I think so.
I feel like Ant-Man and the Wasp had a very easy ending when it tied directly into
To Endgame, right?
the end game, and it was like, okay, well, it seems like the end for those characters, really.
Yeah, that was a. So I don't know what this is.
It's definitely a movie.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The next one on this list that I have no idea what this is Armor Wars.
Yeah, so this is Don Cheadle is coming back as Rhodey.
Oh, so this
Okay.
is
This
this
is-
is a War Machine
Yeah,
show.
so this
is
is
it
a
a
War
show or a
Machine
movie?
show. It's a show.
Okay, so War Machine
Okay.
comes back.
Got
Mhm.
it. Okay. That
And it's supposedly
interesting.
about Stark's tech falling into the wrong hands.
Hence the wars. Got it.
Well,
right.
I mean, they've already had that kind of storyline of the what was his name, Hammer Corp or whatever, the other Stark version of Stark that was like, hey, I'm Raytheon.
The evil
Yeah.
defense
Uh,
contractor.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call Raytheon specifically evil, but
I mean the Tony Stark being the good one and the
yes,
not
the way
Tony
that
Stark
they
being the bad
portrayed the other one was, it was more of a direct analogy to a military only production facility, right?
one. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
sure. I wonder if they bring back any of that type of stuff from the Iron Man 2, since that was the big War Machine movie anyway.
Yeah, I feel like. Well, we'll see. I guess there are very few details about a lot of these ones down here at the bottom.
Yeah.
I Am Groot which
So this, I think, is the only one on the list that is the almost for sure a kid's property,
Gotta
because
be.
this is Baby Groot in a series of shorts.
okay, that was going to be my question. Is this felt like an animated thing, and I'm sure that it is then.
I think there's a comic.
Okay,
I remember seeing a comic called I Am Groot.
Okay.
great. Give Vin Diesel more work.
Does he play Little Groot? I bet he does.
I hope
I'm
so.
sure they pitch shift his voice, right?
Yeah,
How many times can he say Groot?
as many
Guardians of the
times as he
Galaxy
wants.
Volume 3, we kind of covered. Not really anything to say about that. You know what Guardians is at this point. Iron Heart.
No
I
idea.
don't know what that is.
So this is another
Man
one in
spinoff?
the Iron Man universe. It's Riri Williams, who is a genius inventor in the Iron Man line, and she has made her own suit of armor.
Got it.
Okay.
I think this is a pretty recent comic, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Probably be a
But that
Bendis
will
thing then.
be Dominique Thorne who plays her.
Okay. I'm cautiously curious of what that is. Deadpool: A New Home, which I mean, I think again the big question mark here, like we said, is like, is this going to be an R-rated movie or not? Because changes what that movie, the tenor of that movie, quite a lot. If like Ryan Reynolds can't swear, right?
I think you're Ryan Reynolds and you say, I'm going to make this and it's going to be X rated.
I mean, it's called Deadpool: A New Home, I guess, so that could fit if it's a Marvel Studios property now, where it wasn't before. So
Yeah. You have to wonder if what the pull and push there is to say, we need the Deadpool character to come back on Marvel. And then someone saying, well, you need me to, Ryan Reynolds saying, you need me to be the Deadpool character. And I want it to be XYZ type of movie.
Right, and is it worth losing a big chunk of the current Deadpool fans to have it fit in
To PG-13, yeah.
Right.
yeah, because I think if you make this movie PG-13, I think a lot of people are going to be pretty upset. I think I would be.
You would be? I was gonna say I don't know that I would be.
I don't need it because of like the cursing or the blood or anything, but I think the fact that as an R-rated superhero movie, it let them do other stuff that all the other superhero movies couldn't do.
It let them not need to or want to do it in other movies, which didn't need to do it.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Like they could show the guy getting tortured explicitly way more than was needed, and then attempt to do the gag of that in that movie and not have to do it in other movies where people get tortured. Right?
It's, I think, one of the reasons that the Marvel shows petered out on Netflix is that all of them were grimy and horrible to people, right? Like you had Daredevil, the Punisher, and even when they tried Iron Fist, it was like, what about if Iron Fist was grimy? And you're like, I don't know that that's needed there, friend.
Yeah. I it like Deadpool is their like, we want blood and guts release valve,
Mm-hmm.
and they can do all that over there, and then they don't have to have Captain Marvel punch her fist through someone. Or
I
whatever.
will say, it's on Disney Plus, and I don't think there's a single. I don't think there's much, if anything, on Disney Plus that's R.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yet.
yeah. So like,
There is rumor that Hulu and them are merging more than being owned, which would mean a lot of R would come over to, one would assume the Disney Plus name sticks.
Right, because Disney owns tons of movies that have been rated R throughout the history of time, right?
Oh, and all those Fox movies they now own are,
Right.
tons of those.
That's where are all those 21st Century Fox movies going to show up, right?
You would hope. Man, it's tough to say. One idea is you leave it all on Hulu, and if the adults go to Hulu and the mid-teens and adults, I guess, go to Disney Plus, but
It's a tough sell to say, oh, I just want to subscribe this to see like the R-rated Disney catalog or
Yeah.
But yeah,
Disney-owned
yeah.
R-rated stuff.
yeah.
It's
Well, that's what they
it's
did,
hard.
right? They Buena Vista movies and other imprints. They didn't have the
Sure.
Disney name. They had other names.
Right. Well, like they're not going to put like the giant Disney logo in front of the Deadpool movie, right? Like that's not happening.
They've already started renaming Fox films. I don't know if you've heard about this, but like, so there was 20th Century Fox when they merged with 20th Century Pictures, and then 20th Century Fox became Fox and Fox Searchlight, and Disney has started going back, and anything that ends up on Disney Plus has been rebranded away from Fox back to 20th Century Pictures,
Interesting.
so that it's more a Disney-like imprint.
Okay, and then there's one more, which is something Fantastic Four, and they haven't really said anything else other than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It's like the 5th time they've rebooted Fantastic Four in my lifetime. I can't say I'm hyper excited about that.
I stare at this and think, yeah, this is a long way off and everything, and it shouldn't affect my Netflix opinions.
There's so
But
much here, dude.
I don't know how it doesn't.
If you couple this plus all the Star Wars stuff we just talked about,
Plus everything that's not listed here because they're not.
Yeah, there's a bunch of animated stuff that got announced too.
Yeah.
yeah, this doesn't include all of that stuff. And there's, then also like, hey, maybe there are series that are already out that you like that are going to continue.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a lot of stuff to watch, man. Who has time for all this?
Oof.
It's an investment. If you are going to be in the Marvel universe in the next 3 years, you have a lot of stuff on your plate starting now.
And yeah, like same thing with all these ones we just went through as all the Star Wars stuff we went through. A lot of these are like 4 years or more off.
WandaVision
right?
starts next month.
But some of them are very soon, right? So it's a big question mark with a lot of this. It's a lot of stuff we just went through, but it's over like 4 or 5 years. Maybe it's less overwhelming than it seems, but when you layer all these on top of each other, you start to get a picture of like, okay, January is going to be WandaVision month, and then February is going to be, whatever the next Star Wars one is, and then there's going to be a July Marvel movie, and then a Star Wars, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, where's my time?
So if
Now it's
you
December again,
if you follow the Mando-ish, and they don't have to exactly, but the Mando-ish formula, right, for all these shows, cut the movies out, just the
Right.
shows. If everyone's 8 weeks long because they keep the same formula, you've got to start double layering per month. You're going to be watching 2 hours of Disney Plus a week if you want to follow Marvel and Star Wars, starting in like a year.
yeah, it's a lot of
That's
stuff.
a high value proposition for $9 a month.
Yeah, you wonder too if they'll start putting some of them out in blocks. The Netflix style.
Very much doubt it. Sincerely.
Maybe for the kids ones,
Okay.
but yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't expect them to go to it just because they can milk it more by releasing it piecemeal, right?
I think if
Sure,
they obtain old shows, like if they get Daredevil and they drop it here, they'll just drop it.
Sure, yeah, the old stuff.
If they put, like I'm trying to think of a show that isn't already on. I was going to say like the 90s X-Men series, but that's already on there. I don't know, whatever. If they get, an older animated series or whatever, they would just drop the whole thing, I would expect, right?
The old Spider-Man cartoons.
There you go.
Those have got to be in the works. Up-resing them and getting them ready.
If nothing else, someone has said the thing, why don't we have those on there? And then someone else is frantically trying to figure out who owns them.
The list of this is so long of what they don't have up that you've got to imagine there's a whole department at Disney Plus of just like, what can we get the rights to this week? Because we need to get somebody started on up-resing something.
Well, and like, if nothing else, right? Like, yeah, they do have to do work to it, right? Because if you put up
Absolutely.
those old like 80s and 70s era cartoons, it's going to, on your 4K screen, you're going to be like, this has 3 pixels per foot of my TV.
Did you follow the drama about what they did when they tried, when they got Fox, they moved the Simpsons. This is a property that is Fox that got moved to Disney Plus instead of Hulu. They got the Simpsons, right? And when they uploaded the Simpsons, they took everything and they did a crop They did a zoom
I have
crop
heard of this.
to
Yeah.
widescreen everything, but they didn't
A
upres
lot of
some
the
of the
old
old stuff.
So a lot of the old episodes were 4:3, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
they made them all widescreen, but they did it bad.
And they did it bad, right? They didn't anamorphize it. They didn't do anything to it other than crop it. And so half the jokes in the early seasons are off screen. So, it took them months to add a button of like, hey, I want to see this in the original format, please.
So I can see any of the jokes.
Yeah. And then, they wouldn't add the original format until they had gone back and up-resed it, because they had already gotten the complaints about like, hey, these, 2010 crops look terrible. Not only do they cut off. So I've got to imagine they've got a lot of rights to stuff that they just haven't nailed to the wall yet, because it doesn't look the way they want it to look for their service, that they're selling very premium content here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think they're making the argument that if you're going to be doing streaming, you should watch your money, see what you're paying for every month.
I think it's really tough, man. There's so much out there now.
It used to
really
be a
is
set
lot
it
of
and forget it kind of world,
Yeah. I think more than ever, this is going to drive people into the arms of account sharing.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, if folks want to share their accounts with us,
I was just
we
about to
promise we
say,
won't
send us your
use them.
passwords.
They should go back to the beginning of the podcast and find out where they can do that.
Yeah. I'm not above doing the bits twice. Look, I will shill if you want me to shill. Feel free to send me things for me to shill.
Yeah. Hey, Netflix, you don't want us to cancel and talk up your stuff. We Were Gamers could use 3 Netflix keys.
We have talked in the past that we're pretty big fans of Stranger Things, so I would love there to be more of that. If you want to send me early access to that Netflix podcast at We Were Gamers is where you could do that.
JJ promises to write 300 words of the 1,000-word review.
I could hit out 1,000 words, man. I did that in college. It's probably still possible. I know how to type.
All the socials, everything else. We already talked about it. We won't hold you here. Enjoy the end of your year, everybody. Seriously and intentionally. Take a minute, take a breather, and try and enjoy your holiday season. Happy Hanukkah to everybody celebrating.
Yeah. And stay safe out there.
I can't believe we didn't mention the Zootopia show. It's not on any of the, but that's the thing, right? There's a zillion other things that aren't on the list. I wish that it was another movie. Because that detective universe, maybe if it doesn't have Judy Hopps in it, but you'd want Judy Hopps at least to show up once for the kids. You know what I mean? But
I can see them making it a serial though, like Law and Order but kids style.
Do you want a cop kid show though?
That's hard.
I don't know that I want a cop kid show. I already have kind of a cop kid show that my kids watch with the Lion Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so borderline, like they do the helping people, but not, and a little bit of the like, the crocodiles are committing crimes again. And I'm already kind of like, but crocodiles need to eat too, you guys.
Yeah.
So I worry a little bit about it being a cop show, which is why you'd want, if it was a Judy Hopps thing, it to be a movie again. With like
so like another mystery to solve.
Right. Versus like the weekly, I don't want her to get ruined by the weekly ins and outs of a serialized procedural. She's too good a character for that.
Yeah.
Plus, Zootopia is so big compared to what they showed you.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason to me for arguing that it should be a show instead.
I agree. I really am excited that it's going to be a show, because you could spend a lot of time doing stuff in other places in the thing, and it does not have to be about crimes. It could just be about living
life
in
in
Zootopia.
Zootopia. Yeah. Yeah, because they show like they do that big pan out at the beginning where you see all the different zones, and then you don't spend any time in any of them.
Oh yeah, you see her training in like the desert for the desert town or whatever.
Yep, and in the snow.
Yeah. Well, they did go to Tundra Town, but
That's true. Yeah.
um there's a lot of stuff that they say. And there's different species that they never even show.
Yep.
So that's interesting. I always laughed that the director finally said, "Don't worry, the carnivores eat insect paste."